of life energy, chi, prana, mana, organ, ode, personal magnetism, and so on, we know that, number one, it flows freely without significant loss of energy between identical structures. And number two, it follows the principle of reversed entropy, or negative entropy, whatever you call it, which means it flows from the weaker potential to the stronger one, until the stronger potential is saturated. This second characteristic of life energy allows us to establish linkage if the connection is not exactly identical, all the way to the point of being pure abstractions, such as radionic settings or rates, symbols, mantras, words of power, or objects which have been established with the human mind focusing on trend or target. Life energy automatically searches out the final target for which such an abstraction has been established originally with the help of the human brain, and it does so because of reversed entropy. This process is similar to heat traveling the path of least resistance, preferring, so to say, heat-conducting materials, when following the law of entropy from higher potential to lower potential until a balance, in this case, entropy, between the two is reached. The setting of the radionics device then compares to ducts in a heating or air conditioning system. On the typical traditional radionics device, therefore, one link connects with the trend while the other link connects with the target. And power radionics then has the life energy added, and both links being in the same place, the device, a connection is established between trend and target. And with this connection between trend and target achieved, the trend energy will define actions of the target person following the trend. With additional mental targeting or intent, which means the use of trend energies of a more complex nature, such a connection can then take the aspect of a thought form. And this means that using abstractions and corresponding settings, you can achieve permanence of a creative energy, which is self-adapting to changing circumstances, to challenges that may come up during the function of the operations, even after the original setup of the radionics device has been discontinued. Naturally, you need sufficient life energy, ideally from a chi generator, to power up such a thought form and to keep it alive. Repeating the operation will recharge it every time, and this procedure is certainly more efficient than leaving the traditional radionics device, which lacks a massive supply of life energy, of a power radionics device turned on until the goal is achieved. The chi generator, which is built into the power radionics device and or connected with the power radionics manifestation program, makes rapid results and the development of powerful thought forms possible. While middle-of-the-line devices are sufficient for personal use, the heavy-duty devices assure massive supply of life energy for multiple simultaneous radionics operations or any other operation at a distance. And by now it is obvious that the natural characteristics of life energy, chi, prana, organ, and so on, makes radionics possible in the same way as they make all other known actions at a distance possible. For persons who are unaware of its basic functions, reverse or negative entropy and structure-based transfer, life energy appears sometimes to be a medium which is modulated by trend energy, which it then carries to the target. In the light of my extensive research and double-blind experiments concerning the subject matter of radionics and action at a distance, such an assumption is as primitive as the assumption of some traditional practitioners who kill chicken to feed their spirit servants. A typical explanation which lacks the characteristics of a good theory, as described before. Of course, experienced traditional practitioners of all times in history knew very well this simple fact: no action at a distance, no magical or shamanic action without life energy. Life energy, therefore, carries the secret of positive, permanent change and mind control at a distance. Therefore, life energy is the fuel of all action at a distance as we know it, including the very recent radionics. The challenge which traditional practitioners now faced then was to have access to a large amount of life energy, many of them called it psychic power, to do effective work at a distance. Their methods to generate life energy have been as varied as the cultures and religions into which they were born. Some of the more advanced practitioners always knew how to draw life energy from the universe around them. The majority of practitioners, however, use an array of other methods such as generating life energy in one's own body, as in Tai Chi, generated it by means of strong emotions, by having group stands and walk in circles. Some traditions such as Voodoo and Santeria are still practicing animal sacrifice to cause strong releases of life energy. It is obvious by now that knowing how to generate massive amounts of life energy makes action at a distance, including radionics, easy for every person. The Qi generator in your power radionics device can do this for you.